Welcome to Shifting Impressions, conversations with the realm of beings, with me, Greta Chamberlain, and the realm of beings. Shifting Impressions, which is one of the vehicles that supports the transmission of the realm of beings, is here to assist you in delving into your being by providing numerous topics and discussions for you to intake as you deepen your connection with your inner world. Shifting Impressions is here to assist you in strengthening yourself as you excavate to understand your true nature. Join us today and learn to shift your mindset, shift your thoughts, and shift your focus to recreate your life and produce a new you. Shifting Impressions starts now.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and whatever time and space you are currently existing in, this is Shifting Impressions. I'm Kathy Lee, the original. I'm here with Greta, and I'm in Philadelphia. Greta's in Chicago. And the realm of beings, I don't know where they are, but I know they'll be joining us in the second half of this show because I don't think they really have a space here with us, but I do know that they're in the house. And let's see. Here's a little teaser. Did you know that your physical body, let me see what I wrote down here. Do you know that your physical body assists you in creating your reality and your life's experiences? Most of us don't realize that. So today we're going to discuss that with the realm of beings about the responsibilities of your physical body and why you even have one. So grab your pen and your paper or however you take notes because this is going to be a very informative discussion. The quote for today that was channeled to Greta is the purpose of the physical body. That's the title. And the quote, hold up one second now. Your physical body plays a very important role in your spiritual development. It is the grounding mechanism that holds you in a particular reality at any given moment. It is a tool. That's important. It is a tool that you use to ground that you use to ground you in various states of illusion. And as you all know from our previous discussions, we are basically living in an illusion. And one of Greta's favorite movies is The Matrix. Am I right, Greta?
Absolutely.
And especially with the person bending the spoons, because that's basically, actually, it's a good example of what an illusion is all about and why we need our physical body to stay grounded in this reality, in this space as a human being. And with that note, I'm going to turn it over to Greta.
Of which then I will turn it back over to you, Kath.
Oh, you're going to turn it back to me?
Yeah. Okay. I think that the first thing that we need to look at is that the physical body is the last body to come online and the first body to leave.
Why is that?
Well, this is going to take us into a deep discussion today, and I was glad that you asked everybody to take notes, especially if they're really interested in understanding how the physical body functions outside of what we normally think it as doing. In other words, we normally think it as keeping us alive, and that we have to take care of it. We got to wash the skin, we got to fix our hair, we got to do all that stuff. When we have some type of dis-ease, then we start to think about it more. Sometimes we even start to take care of it better. Let me change my diet for my physical body. um, let me, if you've lost a body part, then you've got to go get another body part too, a prosthetic, I think they call it, Kathy,
Yes.
and to use that to add to it so that you're bringing the physical body back into its wholeness, even if you're not really creating a real arm. It's like my brother lost his feet. They had to cut both of his feet off. So what did he have to use? He uses prosthetics to move around with. So we're constantly thinking of ways how to keep the body, physical body alive, how to keep it healthy, how to, if we're missing a body part, how to supplement it so we can put it back together again, you know. So that's one way of thinking of it, you
Right.
know.
And yeah, and we focus more on the outside than we
Absolutely.
do on the inside. And by the inside, I'm speaking in reference to our thoughts and emotions and how they support how we even create the human body, because our thoughts and emotions create our physical body. Am I correct, Greta?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Kathy.
Can you elaborate?
Well, the we created because let's go back before the incarnation. Let's go back, not
Okay.
before the incarnation, but let's go back before conception. See, some people remember what it was like before they were conceived, and those are called pre-birth stories. And people can, go on YouTube and listen to some experiences of others that have that memory. So, in order to have that memory, you have to have the memory, then your memory subtle body, so that you can have memory. And they're having those memories before they are even conceived, you see.
How is that even possible, though, Greta?
Because that's the way we're fixed, Kathy. That's the way, see, every species has a certain formula for it. And we've talked about that being in the white body, meaning the white body of the force, being a white circle, and it contains all the designs for all of the individuals inside of existence. So it will even hold the a physical design for a stone made out of granite, you see.
Hmm.
It has all that. It has all of that in there for every species. So what people don't really realize is that we have other bodies. Some people, if they're studying, spirituality or metaphysics, they will talk about having the light body. They will talk about emotional body or whatever. But we have about 20 or more of them. Like even the fascia of your system has its own subtle body. So most of the systems that we have that create help to create this physical body are already formed and ready to roll.
So
They're
we're like
ready.
just layered. We're layered. From the inner side, our body, we think of our body from this way in, but it's really this way out, is what you're suggesting.
That's a kind of simplistic way of saying it. Yeah. But the subtle bodies are all in there with us. you know, like we have a digestive subtle body, we have a muscle subtle body, we have connective tissue subtle body, we have a skeletal subtle body. I can go on for about 20, an endocrine subtle body that manages those parts of our physical body, and we don't see them because we're constructed. The formula is we have all these bodies, but we're not to know that it's not that we're not to know, it's that we don't make ourselves privy to know that. You see, we just don't, Kathy. And so then the physical body is the last one to come online.
So we're not focused because because everything, in order to, if we focus on that, then we're not able to function in this reality, which is basically an illusion.
In a sense, you could say that because look at what do we have to do? We create our physical bodies. But how do we do that? The first step that we have to do is decide who our parents are going to be. Who our parents are going to be. What is the cultural framework we're coming into? What is the epigenetics we're coming into? What reality we're coming into?
But how do we know to even do that?
Because we're the
Really
force,
do.
Kathy. We know.
Okay, but the
We're the
audience.
force. So at that stage of the game, we know how to do those things. We know that we've got to create a physical body. We know that. We know that we have been selected to be humanoid. We have not been selected to be a Pleiadian. We have not been selected to focus on being an Arcturian. That's not the focus, you see.
So when you say focus, what exactly do you mean
I mean,
for the for the audience?
where does the force what does the force want to experience?
Who wants to experience itself?
Right, and we are it. See, we go right back to the beginning of that. You took us right back, Kathy.
Oh, I
We are
didn't.
the force.
I
Yeah.
didn't. Well, I'm trying to go. I'm trying to go a different kind of way. I'm trying
Yeah,
to.
but you went circular. You took us right back. You took us right back to being the force. And most of us don't recognize that because part of us being humanoid is to give us an opportunity to learn that, to learn it, to see how you're going to learn it. How are you going to eventually learn it?
Well, our species chose to create this type of physical body.
Absolutely.
Another species chose, like the realm, to just be ethereal.
Absolutely.
But I don't know if they ever did have a body. So can this? Because a lot of people believe that they say evolution, and I'm not even. Sometimes you're just taught certain things, but now you begin to question, did I come from an ape? I mean, it's just very interesting. For some reason, I never felt that I did. But I just think, like my mother said, I was found in a trash can. And so she just said, "Oh, look at this poor child," and picked up out the trash can. And I'm making a little joke there, but I'm very, very serious when I ask that question. It's like oh my God, just got confused in my own brilliance just that quick, Greta. I
That's
love
all
that
right.
question.
That's all right. You were talking about that theory that we evolved from the ape.
Right. So are we still going to look the same? Because what some people are suggesting is that we're not going to look this way. And I mean, when you look at what's happening even now, I mean, with all of the blending of so-called different ethnic groups or different, I'll call us skin colored people with different types of textured hair and everything. I mean, when they talk about evolving, they're not just talking about that. They're talking about one eye in the middle of your forehead, like some real physical changes, because they're still looking at the human evolution from the point of a one-celled organism, all the way up to, Australopithecus and beyond. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Following.
you have to believe in that type of evolution of the physical body. And I guess that's the question for the realm. Did we come from that? And what are we going to look like? Are we going to be ethereal beings without a physical body like the realm?
Right now, you don't even have to worry about that, Kathy, because let me tell you, you are in this reality. And the way you look, unless you construct your body differently, that's it. You're going to carry that through all those transitional portals. You know,
I don't look that bad.
no, you don't. You know, it's like I think we have to incorporate that concept of death
Mm.
when we know that death is not real. Okay, so everybody lives because we're energy. Einstein really did hit on something, and it wasn't even Einstein. I forgot the gentleman who created that idea, but and it was supported by many people, including Einstein, and that is that you cannot, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So that is absolutely true. But then if we take it down into the spirituality of it, move it past science or quantum physics or whatever, and we move it into the spirituality of it, then we have to say the reason why energy is not
Created.
destroyed nor created is because the energy itself is the force. So we go back to the five aspects of the force. And the five aspects of the force are the unconscious, the energy, the white body, the overall etheric body, and the incarnate.
Mm,
Those are the five aspects of the force. So it's like I use it as your fingers with your hand. You have four fingers and a thumb. So each one of those fingers has a responsibility. So when they have thumb has a responsibility different from the little pinky. Okay. But when I say, give me your hand, you're not going to say, wait, Greta, till I pull my fingers and my thumb off and then I'll give you what's left. That's my hand. No, the whole thing is your hand. So each one of the fingers is an aspect of your hand. It's a part, it is the hand. It's still the hand, even though it's your index finger. It's still the hand. So those aspects of the force are like the fingers for you. The force is all of those things. It is the energy that we use is the force. Some people look at energy as being separate. I remember one man in Canada told a woman she shouldn't work with me because it would cause a problem for his energy, the energy work that he did. So that let me understand that he does not know what the force is. Because when you understand what the force is, then you know that all of the energy that you are using to do anything with, to do radionics, to do the EE system, to do Therify, to do Reiki, to do any of those types of energy works, it's all the force. It
and
cannot be
everyone is
just
using the force at every moment throughout their existence, and they
absolutely.
are just completely unaware that that's what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And that's why we're doing this podcast,
Right.
because you are creating your physical body to experience the force, and to experience, actually, to experience being the force. We can take it even a little deeper, because I've been focusing now on experiencing being the force, but sometimes I feel like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't do that. Should I do that? Am I, like, moving too, I guess there's no such thing as moving too close to the force if I am the force. So if I'm experiencing being the force, I guess I sometimes I just wonder if I'm allowed to do that is a better way of asking.
It's not about being allowed.
Well,
A
your
lot,
conditioning,
yeah, we're
the whole thing
conditioned
about
to. Right,
the whole
right,
thing about you're not God, oh no, 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 you can't do
right,
that,
right.
you know.
And even people here, like they say, they think when I mention the force, or even you've had that experience, that they think we're talking about God. No, we're not. The force is that which created God. So we're talking about the energy that has created all of existence, not just this little uh, planet Earth that we're on, or not just this universe that we're on. We don't even understand what universe this is.
We
Is
don't
it
even understand
universe number
the
two?
universe itself.
Right, absolutely,
We don't even know
absolutely.
what that is.
Right, absolutely. Because we function here on Earth as humanoids. And we think that this is all that there is. This is the experience. This is the experience I'm having. And it's because we came in here, you know, like when I was growing up, they used to have the watermelon man with
Oh yeah, I remember him.
with the wagon.
Oh
and
yeah, they started to
with the
chant. Yeah,
horse, with the horse. So what did he do so the horse wouldn't be distracted by the people running up to buy the watermelon? Right. Putting on, what do you call those things, Kathy?
blinders.
Blinders, right. Put blinders on. We've got blinders on, but we're purposely have blinders on so that we don't remember the things. See, the whole process is for us to get to remember, is to go through all of these experiences. And what helps us go through these experiences is the physical body. So when you decide, when the decision has occurred that, well, I'm going to be female, I'm going to be in this particular reality, and I'm not even going to talk about lateralities because that'd be another podcast. But we'll just say in this reality, in the years that I'm experiencing here, then that's what I'm going to see. I'm not going to realize, but I'm not going to realize everything, but I'm going to create ways for me to try to understand what's happening. I want to create things. So that's why people they create dimensions because they want to understand, well, how does this universe work? Which very ironically does not work on that, but people believe it. Humanoid people believe it. I've got to be specific now. Humans believe in dimensions.
Yeah,
Outside of this work, outside dealing with other species, they don't know a doggone thing about dimensions. So I've already been taught by the realm dimensions is a humanoid construct. Okay? So, and there are a lot of other humanoid constructs as well. We create things. We don't discover things. We create it.
because it's always existed. But I guess that's a good segue into when I think about the classical Africans, the Kemetic people or slash Egyptians. I've often felt that it was co-opted and altered from its original meaning when they spoke about, even with the Hebrews. I could be wrong now. When they talk about the one God, I think they're talking about the force itself, and then they
They
had
aren't.
the
No, they
physical.
aren't. They're not talking about the force because they had no conception of that. They were just they were just trying to deal and all people, Mesopotamia, all of those humans that have been coming through every time, quote unquote, time period, which is an illusion unto itself, but coming through that had different thoughts on it, different thoughts on reality. I mean, I'm glad you brought up the Egyptians because it went even pat before them that people
Yeah,
were thinking about how does reality work here?
right.
So,
That's probably why I was trying to get to it, because they already had, to me, a bigger. They were working on it.
well, man has been working on this, and I'm used man, I should say humanity
Thank you.
has been working on this. Because you know that PowerPoint that I did on what is reality started back in what, 6,000 BC, talking about reality.
Correct.
And then I've discovered the emerald tablets, that go back 36,000 BC, if I'm correct on that. Bill Carson has a wonderful book on that. If anybody's interested in the emerald tablets, he has a compendium on that, along with several other people that have written about the emerald tablets.
Yeah, I have.
So the thing is that we've been searching, how does this fit? So one thing that we're doing today is taking just one part of that, and that's the physical body. But look what we had to explain in order to even have some understanding of how it came about, you
And you
see.
know what, Greta? On that note, we're going to take our pause, and we're going to we'll be right back. But don't touch that dial, and don't use that remote control. Keep it down. But you can look for us on Facebook, Instagram, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your streaming services. But please don't forget to like and share. We're trying to get our viewership up. We appreciate it because the work that we do and the Realm and Greta is, I would say, important to humanity. We'll be right back. Well, thank you for staying with us. You shall not be disappointed, or excuse me, you will not be disappointed. The realm is with us. I don't even need to check. I can feel their presence, and they are ready to discuss the purpose of the physical body. And I shall read the quote to the realm, and the realm is ready. Are you ready, realm? Yes, of course you are. And I hope you're not muted because I didn't hear you laugh.
Hmm.
There you go. There's the realm. Okay. Your physical body plays a very, very important role in your spiritual development. It is the grounding mechanism that holds you in a particular reality at any given moment. It is a tool. I like that word tool that you use to ground you in various states of illusion. Elucidate for us, realm. Endarken us.
Did you say what? In darken us?
Well, I think the people are already enlightened, so let's endarken us.
We don't want to go into darkness, Miss Lee.
Oh, okay.
No, that would be a challenge for us, although darkness and light all consist at the same time simultaneously. But that will be another discussion. We wanted to get people to start thinking about their creation of reality from its beginning. and your physical body, and we use the word tool on purpose. If you want to hammer a nail, you won't use your hand, you're going to use the hammer. So when you want to stay in this state of illusion and experience all this good stuff that's here, you're going to want to use the physical body as your tool. Just like if you used a hammer to hammer a nail, uh, the physical body is a tool as well. But I know that our audience probably does not think about it in that way, but it is. It's the means by what we said in the quote, it grounds you into the illusion because it helps you, and let us say this, it grounds you with your thoughts and emotions. So your thoughts come from, you are all talking about the subtle body. So you have a subtle body that deals with your thoughts. It's called the mental body for you right now. You have a subtle body that deals with your emotions. It's called the emotional body. So you have these things going on. And then you have the energy of the force and you have the unconscious. So the unconscious is the force itself, and so is the energy that you use to create your realities. So when we're saying that, then we're letting you know that all your thoughts and your emotions are pure energy. And you're using them, which is the force itself, which is the energy, to create and experience different things. The thing is that you were created to be able to uh, experience all kinds of things. Um, you were given choice because the force always has choice. So, because we see you as the force, we see ourselves as the force, you always have choice. Okay, so you're experiencing yourself at every moment. If you think of, and it's not even a duality, what you have here attached to your physical body is that part of you called the personality. That's why all of you seem to appear differently. You think differently, okay? You're creating personalities that function with the physical body. It functions in concert with it. And the physical body functions in concert with all your subtle bodies, of which you have over 20 of them, you see. So all of this is working. Humans don't realize how expansive they are. You think of yourself in just one little microcosm. You're sitting in your condo, your house. You're going to work every day, or you're in agriculture and you're going into the field, regardless of what country you're in. You're producing food, you're cutting down grass, you're doing all kinds of things. So you think that that's it. And when you look at somebody else, you look at your mother, your father, your brothers, your siblings, your sisters, your children, uh, you see them and you see them as individuals. But as humans, you've been constructed to see that. You've been constructed to see that there's another person there. Notice I said another person
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
because you see somebody else. You don't see yourself as one with that. Because, see, if we take off all of the physicality of everybody, let's say we're going to take care of, we're going to get rid of all of the subtle bodies, all of the physical body, which is just one of the subtle bodies, but it's the one that you see. It's the visible one to you. But let's say we get rid of all of that. We get rid of the physicality of the trees, the blade of grass. We just get rid of all of it. The only thing you're going to see is energy. And you're not going to see one piece of energy over here, one piece of energy over there, and another piece over here. You're only going to see one energy. That's how we come into the oneness, you see.
Is that what you see? Just one energy now realm, or
Well, we recognize that we're looking like we're looking at you through Greta's eyes. So
oh,
therefore we're into that illusion of you as Kathy. And we've heard Stephen's voice, who is your producer for today. We don't see him on this podcast, but we know he's there.
mm.
So we deal with the differences of each individual comes in. How did you create that physical body? See, the physical body is very important because it helps you stay in this illusion. The other bodies help you, but the physical body is the one that is visible to you. It's the one that feels things. If you pinch yourself, you go, ouch. If you stick yourself, oh my. So the physical body is taking on all of that. The physical body is the one that even has a personality attached to it. So the personality attached to your physical body, Kathy, is going to be different from Greta's personality. That's what makes this whole thing fun.
I don't know, realm. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it all depends on what your definition of fun is. Because
Well, see, Kathy, if we look at everything, see, the personality is what decides. It goes into judgment. It goes into judgment and says, okay, this is going to be good and this is going to be bad. And it goes according to what family did you decide to incarnate in? What parents did you choose? You see, for this reality. Now we're going to stay in this reality, otherwise,
okay,
it'll be a little bit confusing. I know you were trying to take us, Kathleen, into other realities and about evolution and all that, but those are different realities. We're going to stay right here today,
okay.
okay? Because it can get kind of challenging. But the thing is that the physical body will hold a personality.
So, realm. Let's say at the incarnate stage, the force or whatever, right before that, the incarnate has decided it wants to come into this world with cerebral palsy or another, like some kids are born, choose to create missing a limb or a hair lip or what humans term a deformity. Um,
Mhm.
well, how do they even know to even create something like that?
How? Because you're dealing with the force's lessons because you're the force. So at that incarnate stage, you're already dealing with things. You're beginning to come into focus with this reality that you're going to pop up in. And some people don't want to come.
Mm,
Some people have decided after when the incarnate builds the species, let's say it's building a human, builds the human and gives the human its lessons that it's going to learn, as the force is going to learn these lessons. Some people decide, I think I changed my mind. I I really don't think I want to do this. But the only thing is, when you're saying to yourself, as the force, and you're saying to yourself, well, I'm going to go. I committed to go. So let me go and try it out. So that's where you begin to forget that you're the force, you see. So
why
you
is that
go into
necessary?
you go into that feeling of, I'm separate from the force. It's cut off from you to the extent that you don't realize it. You don't realize it, so you can go through all of these things you're going through. Because if you recognized and absolutely knew you were the force, most of you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. You wouldn't be maiming people. You wouldn't be criticizing people. You wouldn't be judging people. You wouldn't be trying to commit genocide against people. You wouldn't be trying to do any of those things. But the personality now is what's coming to do all that. And the personalities, when we start interacting with the personalities, what does it do? It causes us, we work with those personalities and we're creating those realities. Remember, we gave that protocol called create, support, support, create. You see, and that's constantly going on. That is part of being human. Not only is that, but it's part of being any species throughout existence.
Well, can I ask another question then? If there's only one force, is there only one personality and we're just is there only one personality in the way that I understand that there's only the force? Uh
We have the unconscious is what represents what you're trying to get to. The
okay.
unconscious. We don't deal with subconscious and preconscious and all that. That is man-made constructs to see if they can understand what's happening to each person. Can they understand how people think? So when they got to the point that they wanted to figure out how people think, then they started creating psychology so they could figure out what are the mental capacities of humanity? What are their mental challenges? And then they started to put them in categories. If you behave a certain way, you're schizophrenic. You behave this way, you have a behavior disorder. You see, so humanity, not just man, but humanity is forever creating parts that help you and assist you in dealing with creation of reality. So therefore, Kathleen, you're given that, but then the decision is made by that aspect of you as the force to say, I'm going to choose these parents. They're addicts. I want to experience, based on my lesson of abandonment, based on my lesson of not needing to utilize something physical in order to keep me moving, in order to keep me understanding self. Uh, I want to use something physical that's going to help me, that's going to challenge me. See, we came in here with challenges. That's why we don't use the word problems.
Correct.
We don't use problems because problems in any language, the connotation is that it's something that you're in, and it gives you that feeling that you can't ever get out of it. It's a problem. So instead of we utilize and we encourage, and we're encouraging your audience to use the word challenge instead of problem. Because challenge means that, oh, that's something I'm going to get through that. Problem puts you in the murk and mire. Challenge starts to give you that impetus to move yourself up out of it.
So going back to the physical body and looking at it as a tool that the personality and the force uses to experience itself. What happens if a person does not like their tool? I know that they can change their. I know they created to have somebody be able to alter their facial features, to change their sex if they should have if they perceive themselves the personality wants to experience being a transgender or a female or right vice versa or whatever. Um, how I'm seeing it like a circular thing between the emotions and the thoughts and I'm trying to figure out, how do you tie the physical body and the emotions and the thoughts into, I guess, an image that's coming to my mind. It's like, we see them as separate, but they're not. Am I off track there?
When you say we see them as
I
separate,
mean,
what do you mean
humans,
as them?
humanity. We see, like you said, somebody's a schizophrenic. We see them as something wrong with them. But to me, it's just like, if your tool is broken, how do you fix your tool?
Well, see, the tool really technically is never broken. See, it's the illusion that it's broken. See, that's what we're talking about.
Okay,
The,
that's what I want to
the
get to.
physical body holds you into illusion, you see. You know, if you uh, have a dis-ease, then you've set that self, you've given yourself, you've created that dis-ease. And the physical body is there to receive your creation of reality for it. Like some people feel that they've gained a lot of weight and they're too heavy, they want to lose weight. So what do? They lose weight and their physical body shrinks and gets smaller. That shows you right there that you're creating it. You're always forever creating that physical body. You have to decide what you want to create in it.
But
That's why it's there. It's the tool to hold you. If you create to have an experience of cancer, regardless of what kind it is, and if you are experiencing it, you've given it to yourself. Now, a lot of people will probably balk at that because they don't understand that everything that you create personally for yourself, or let me put it like this, everything that you experience personally, you have created it. There are no ifs or buts about it. If you are personally, I will say it again, if you are personally experiencing this in with your physical body, you have created it. How did you create it? You created it by way of your thoughts. You created it by way of your emotions.
right. So now my
Yes.
next question then is, if we, according to what Greta said, I'm always going to be Kathy, and this is how I'm going to always be. When I go, is that when I go into, when I make my transition, I'm still gonna, no matter how many times I make my transition, maybe I misunderstood. I'm still gonna look like this. I'm going to be like this.
No, you're going
Oh,
to be Kathy.
oh, the
But you're going
personality.
to, but Kathy, you're going to be Kathy, but you're going to be deciding what lessons have you learned and which ones you haven't.
But do I choose a new physical body?
You can choose, you create a new physical body.
Okay, I
You see,
create.
the physical body is the last body to come on, and it's the first body to leave. That's why you can't die, because all of the other bodies are still intact.
But I can create to be taller, is what you're. I'm asking. Can I create to be 5'6" instead of 5'4" with my new? I can create anything if I want to. Correct.
Absolutely. But one thing that you're going to do as you move into your new transitional portal, you're taking your body. You're going to create a physical body, but the physical body has to be created within the confines of what you established when you were at the incarnation stage.
But okay, so are you suggesting then that we only have one incarnation stage throughout our entire existence, or every time
Absolutely.
we, huh?
Absolutely. There's only one. And you continue from there. See, you don't go back and get incarnated again. You're there. Kathleen Lee is there. Now, when Kathleen, it's like, for instance, you're in a transitional portal right now. You just don't remember that you died. and that you recreated this. See, that's part of being human.
But I look the same way in the other one.
I'm sure you do. Unless what you can change is you can change because you've chosen your parents.
I could change my parents,
Once
but I
you've
still
changed,
get.
no, 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 no. Once you've changed your parents were set to help you deal with what your lessons that you had to learn. So you're still keeping your parents. You're still keeping the DNA structures that you have. Now,
Oh,
what you can do is, if you want to be heavy, then you're going to eat more and gain weight. If you don't want to be that way, then you're going to create to eat less, to watch your diet, and lose weight and exercise. Now, that you can do. You can grow big, you can grow small. But you chose the parents. Your parents set up for you your height because you asked us, can you grow tall? If your parents are not tall people, you're still coming from them. You're not coming from a whole nother set of parents.
okay. But my parents had five kids. My sister is 5'6". I'm five
Wait a
three.
minute, you're going to confuse everybody.
Oh, okay.
You decided what you wanted to be.
Oh, okay.
Your sister, who's 5'6", decided she wanted to be 5'6". You decided you wanted to be 5'3". So when you die, the only thing you're going to look at is what lessons am I doing? What lessons have I not learned? That is the focus. And you're going to use your physical body. You're going to recreate your physical body within the confines of what it was already, because the already is in the now, and that body is there.
I okay. What just flashed in my head, and I'm sure you felt it, is that's what makes a human, and
Absolutely.
that's what makes because what flashed into my head was, uh the different, doesn't matter what ethnicity I am. I'm definitely, the first thing is I'm still human, but that's how you continue the species.
Absolutely. In other words, you're going to remain Kathy in every transitional portal that you go to. As you move through them, you still have the same parents. What's you can change when you want to start. Some people decide, okay, I want to start back when I'm a child. So they go and they create being a child.
Right. So I know I
But the
started as a.
physical body will be in the confines of childhood as you have created it. See,
Okay.
your creation as a child is always in existence because regardless of what transitional portal you're in, you are still Kathleen Lee. You are still carrying the lessons that you had from the beginning, if there is a beginning, which there isn't. But that's another issue.
I'm not ready to touch that one yet, film. Not today. No, no, no. So okay.
It's
How about.
like Kathleen, when you asked Greta to go into the transitional portal and find your husband because he had passed.
Mhm.
When she got there, and we were with her, uh, you were there. In that transitional portal, you look younger, you look like you were in your 30s, and you were much smaller in stature than what you are now.
Oh boy.
But
Okay.
yet, you were still there while you were here. So you were here talking to Greta while Greta found you also in the transitional portal, but your physical body looked different but you were still Kathleen Lee. But you were a much younger Kathleen Lee, and you were a much smaller Kathleen
And
Lee.
he started in 1989. He didn't go back to his childhood, at least that part of the. Well, I don't know if he did or not, because he could have.
No, he did not. Because when you move to the transitional portal, the one things that you do keep, you don't remember that you died. That's the first thing. Because for to be human, they took that out of you, remembering all that. Okay. Some people go through a near-death experience. Some people go through uh, being in a coma. All that's another whole different issue that we're not touching on today. We're just touching on that when you decide where you want to begin again. Where do you want to begin? Your husband decided, like you said, to begin in 1989.
And I had to begin in 1955 because I remember it. At least that's my
No,
understanding.
he was not born in 1989.
No, I know, but
Don't
what I'm
confuse.
saying,
Don't worry. No, you're confusing everybody. Don't say that you had to begin back in 1955. When we saw you, you were inside your house with your husband. You were looking younger and you were smaller in stature.
no, I know that. So what I'm
Okay,
saying,
so wait a minute now.
okay.
Wait a minute for us. So, in your mind, here we go now. You keep you can say it's a memory if you want. You don't think that you not when you're in 1989, you're not thinking that you don't have your parents because you will create your parents to be there. Just like your husband created you to be in his new transitional portal. And he created the children, and he created the dog that had the pointed ears. So
So
you put inside your transitional portal everything that you want to experience. So you can bring your parents, you'll bring with you because you'll recreate them.
my question, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So my question then is, leaving Bernard aside, I haven't met him yet. When I was in when I
You
died,
have met Bernard. You functioned with Bernard right here. In your mind, you have met him. In your mind, you have gone through childhood with your parents.
that's what I wanted to ask you. So I started at
You're
that.
going to think that way
Oh,
because it's not erased. That part you're going to pick up from, but you're going to start in another place inside in your transitional portal. But you will think in your mind, who am I putting in there? Like we have a podcast that was called The Empty Box that describes what you're talking about right now. Because when you go to the transitional portal, you go in there by yourself. You don't go in there with a whole bunch of people. You go in there by yourself and you say, okay, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want this person, I want that. You restructure your transitional portal to fit the lessons that you still need to learn. So that's how you were in the transitional portal with your husband in your 30s while you were still back here with us, and not back, by the way, but here with us in your 60s. Your husband is in charge of his transitional portal. He put you back in it.
and I don't feel like I am there at all because
Absolutely.
I'm focused in this reality,
Absolutely.
in this transitional portal where I am now.
Absolutely.
This transitional portal where I am now, I experienced, I would say, from birth to this time with my parents, or no?
Well, let me say this. Greta, one point, was asking, how many transitional portals does a person have? So she was in New York with you at the New Life Expo in New York, and a gentleman walked past. If she was talking now, she'd tell you about it. But he walked past. She never saw him in her life, as far as she could remember. And she didn't know him. He didn't say anything to her. He didn't turn his head and say hi, and she never interacted with him verbally. But when he went by her, she felt that, interesting. He's done 200 transitional portals.
I remember that. And on that note, Realm, I'm sorry, audience. It's gone by quickly. We're going to have to plant you now and dig you later. Until next week, we remain Kathy Lee, as the Realm has said, Greta Chamberlain, and the Realm of Beings. We are Shifting Impressions. Thank you for joining us.
Once again, thanks for joining us at Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings on TransformationTalkRadio.com. As you have explored today's creation of reality experience with the Realm and me, Greta, each of you is being supported by us in further developing the understanding that you are not just an individual existing in linear time and space, but a multi-dimensional force of infinite possibilities who is connected to all. So begin to create the realities you want. Join us every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time and 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Shifting Impressions at TransformationTalkRadio.com. So long until we create each other again next Friday.